Greetings and welcome to In-Depth. I'm Dike Rostant, General Manager of Cara Suites, Hassel Thom. He joins us to discuss the Tourism Accommodation Upgrade Project from our participants' perspective, as well as us getting to know a little more about the establishment in general. How are you doing, Mr. Thom?
Good afternoon, DK. I'm fine. Thank you for having me on your program yet again. Let me just make one slight adjustment. I know we are all getting used to the new name from Cara Suites to Cara Hotels, but that's what we want to go forward because since we've done our soft launch. So it's Cara Hotels Trinidad, and we're happy to be here sharing some time to share some information on what you'd like to discuss this afternoon.
And thank you for that. So Cara Hotels, write that down, DK. But also the looking at that move, because last time we spoke, you would have been wearing a hat that was a lot more general. So you're able to kind of bear down and focus on Cara Hotels itself. And we keep on saying Cara Hotels, Cara Hotels, Cara Hotels.
Yeah.
So it becomes
Yes.
muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
But what was the conversation like saying, okay, we are going to take this step to spend our money for the establishment to go in a direction that we wanted to, hearing that we're going to get back some, but still looking at the lay of the land and we're trying to pinch and save, still being proactive enough to say this is something that we are going to be a part of?
Well, first, let's look at it from a prudent standpoint. We're now recovering from COVID-19 when the industry was practically scuttled for almost 18 months. And we had to get back to some level of competitiveness, knowing that we're working using ground zero as a hypothetical position. And the works that is required on a property of our size, even though we're considered a medium-sized property in Trinidad, is still substantial. And DK, if we could get a dollar worth by spending 50 cents and get the quality that we want, that is what we have to do. And for the partial grant that the TAUP or the Tourism Accommodation Upgrade Project provides, it was the perfect precursor to giving us that impetus to start the process. We've always been a property and an organization that try to lead by our reputation. And in saying so, we want to offer what we offer is value for money and something that you can get when you come outside of Port of Spain and said, hey, Trinidad has more than just Port of Spain for hotels. In fact, the program has allowed us to look quite modern. And we have created a lot of wow effect for persons stepping in the door to seeing what is inside and looking straight into the Gulf of Paria. So for us, other than remaining top of mind for people, we want to ensure that once you come through those doors, this is a place you want to come back to, whether you are a national or a non-national visiting for work or leisure or pleasure.
And with that, what is the biggest difference now from then to now? So yes, we have the change in name. Is it a matter of physical infrastructure? Is it a matter of quality of service? What is the biggest thing, or is it all of the above? Let me know your take on it, Tess.
It's all of the above, because operating in a smaller market share, because people have not gotten back to that free mode of traveling for business. If they travel now, used to be 7 days, now 5. If it used to be 5 days, it's now 3. So we are all competing for a smaller market share. So one, your product has to be fresh or relevant, modern enough to accommodate their intricacies and what they're here to do. 2, the quality of service has to be comparable to where they would stay in other islands or in Trinidad, maybe at another location. And 3, what is the impression that you create when they walk through the door? Do they feel welcome for the first time? Do they feel like another number? Or do they feel as though they're coming back home? We try to put all those aspects into someone's stay.
And that actually kind of leads into the next question, because sometimes different people have different models that they work with. There's one fast food chain that the ingredients all come from the same place. So if you get it in this jurisdiction, it tastes the same as if you get it in that jurisdiction. There's some individuals, they like that level of consistency. They can say, okay, well, wherever I have it, it's the same. Some people like something that is different. In terms of your, let me say, claim to fame or your model, what are you working on? And if you just spoke about when you get here, it's almost as though you're returning home. What are some of those things that you want to say, okay, well, the difference with the Cara Hotel is that, ... Please fill in that blank.
The difference with Cara Hotels is that if you've stayed here before, you're known when you walk through the door. You feel as though, hey, I'm just coming back to go into my room to get something. We know what you like. We know how you like it. And we put a lot of effort in to ensure that we have the details right. So when you return, you've actually returned to somewhere where you feel familiar, where you feel safe, where you feel welcomed, and where you feel part of the establishment. So one of the advantages of being a small and a medium-sized hotel is that the service can be personalized. It can be intimate to the liking of the guest, and it can remain authentic. It doesn't have to be a tick a box. I tick this box, I tick this box. So the staff are free to how they interact once they remain respectful and do not cross the line of where it's no longer professional. So we try to be authentic, but in a Cara, with our Cara flavor.
And it's interesting because when I was looking through pics, looking at things online, I realized, but plenty of people I know had wedding receptions and all these sorts of things here. But with that in mind, and tying that into what you're saying, because of the size, it's easy to personalize an experience, and an experience that is personalized makes you feel as though you're being seen, you're being heard, versus, yes, well, a party of whoever, and
exactly,
as opposed to I am who I am, and you all are helping to magnify that image. With that in mind, though, what is the ideal client? Who is the person that you're looking for? Who's the person saying, no, I had to go to Cara Hotel?
It's the person who wants to feel as though they are the center of attention in the way they want to feel it, not over the top, but hey, you're acknowledged. We know what you like, how you like it, where you like it served, when you like it. And if you've been to the property, other than seeing the photos, you realize there are many spots that you can make your own. And we'll allow you to be in your spaces. You don't have the disruptive, loud background noise of car horns or music, etc. It's like sitting on a beach, yet you're in a lobby, and you can be mesmerized, calmed, or enthralled by the view while you're being looked after. Cara, we have so many different variations of sunsets that you can pick what time of the year you want to come here, because you will see it further north, straight ahead, or further south. And we are constantly striving, one, for consistency. So when you come and you try something that you like, because not everything you taste you would like, because our taste buds are unique to ourselves. So outside of the service and the people, when we do something that people like, we ensure that we make sure that it's consistent, and we try to replicate that in every aspect of our service delivery. We have a friendly but knowledgeable and very observant in-house safety and security team. We have our front desk who are willing to dispense information that will make you more aware of your surroundings, make you more aware of the services that we offer. And we have a food and beverage service team that can look after a party of 2 or someone who's here on their own to a wedding party as much as 250 to 280 people, having an event catered to where all they really need to do is show up and in a well-dressed form or fashion. That's what we've been doing for some time. We are, however, continuously looking at ways to make things take the totem pole on a higher scale. So we are now looking at how we do midweek weddings, creating our own destination awareness programs, looking at how we market so we attract a different clientele looking for something slightly different from the usual run-of-the-mill. And we are constantly looking at how we include possibly external services to complement and supplement what we have. Because at the end of the day, what we are trying to provide to anyone is an intangible yet very positive stay experience, no matter what their trip purpose to our property may have been.
And we continue the conversation on the other side of the break, and I want to talk a little bit more about the experiences that are available. I even hear there's some things closer within this season that people may want to look out for and want to see how that experience has changed due or being part of this TAUP. So stay with us. We're speaking with the General Manager of the Cara Hotel, Mr. Hassel Thom. We return with more. Welcome back. This is In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. We are speaking with General Manager of Cara Hotel, Hassel Thom. And the jump-off point was the fact that Cara Hotel was one of 6 being part of the Tourism Accommodation Upgrade Project. Now, at the disbursement ceremony for the checks,
Yes.
you were able to share that you've seen some changes around not just the physical structure, but the community. Speak to me a little bit about that, please, Mr. Thom.
All right. So if Claxton Bay, which we are, less than 100 meters away from that Claxton Bay junction, we are seeing the business, the face of the businesses becoming a little more modern. The building have gone from very dated to one that would look more like a plaza type layout. And our recent demographic of clientele, even though mainly corporate, we find a lot of them are now visiting the space. They may go to get little toiletries, etc., based on the length of stay that they're doing. We are actually actively engaged in conversation. As recent as today, I had a brief internal conversation on how we can create a safe corridor. And we are looking at what must be in place for persons leaving the property, going to the space within the geographical area, and coming back, for 1, to see what is out there, and 2, doing it safely so there's no stigma attached to 1 coming to Trinidad, because it's not about coming to Claxton Bay. Something happens to them leaving the property and returning, it's coming to Trinidad. So we are looking at ways that we can partner with the protective services. We are pretty close to the St. Margaret's Police Station. So we'll be looking at ways where we can collaborate to ensure that the traverse between the hotel and the village area is safe. So that's from one aspect. Another aspect is from an employment standpoint, we do employ, the company employs quite a bit of people from in and around the geographical space. 1, it's convenient for them to get to work. 2, it contributes to good employment, good corporate citizens, and people earning an honest living within this space, which we see as a social way of counteracting some of the the negative social activities that are happening on the island. 3, the more people that come to this space, it builds awareness not just for Claxondale, but Southern Trinidad, even though we are more central, but it gets people closer to San Fernando, sort of South Park and the other areas. And hopefully it would lead to one more things happening in San Fernando, like San Fernando Week, which happened in November, or City Week, and South Carnival. We would be seen as a prime location just outside of the very busy areas to be the launch point, because we have hosted carnival groups, even going to Port of Spain from here. So imagine if with the development of the waterfront, San Fernando waterfront development, we will be ideally located 15 minutes outside of San Fernando. That's not too bad a place to stay to get to San Fernando, one for business, for leisure, or for carnival, for any activities happening in the South End. We are pretty close to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, very close to the Balmain Sporting Cluster, and we see ourselves as being ideally located for both, well, multiple sports, leisure in terms of the local persons coming from North or from Tobago, and for the corporate, which is the Point Lisas Industrial Estate. And we are also very close to what used to be Petrotrin, and we may not know what it may be in the future iteration. So we sit ideally between 2 industrial estates, and walking into the property and looking into the Gulf of Paris, you would not believe that's where we are located. So we have to use those attributes to go after the different target markets that we try to attract, knowing that there are many. It's a multifaceted opportunity that lays there for us that we can tap into once we get our name and our reputation out there through social media, through personal selling, and through networking.
It sounds as though this is something that you have to be supremely intentional and strategic about, Mr. Thom. Now, looking at the TAUP project, Tourism Accommodation Upgrade Project, seeing 6 tourism accommodation properties access reimbursable grants to do upgrade works during the COVID-19 pandemic in anticipation of a demand for room stock when things do open up, or things did start to open again. Did you see all of this happening in terms of this change, the way that not just Cara Hotel, but the community was going to be changing a little bit? Did you anticipate that from jump? Is it something that you hoped for but weren't sure about? What layers of consciousness went through going through this process?
Well, if in retrospect, if we look at, if I recall prior to COVID-19, we were expecting a much improved year in 2020 from 2019. And that's the way the year started out until February 13th, when we started closing the border and everybody had to leave. So tourism in itself is a cyclical industry, and you have to continue to generate new things for people to attract people. People who are comfortable with what you have would return as your repeat clients, but to generate new demand, you have to do something different. So what we are doing in terms of going after the sporting market, going after the wedding market, it's not by chance. As you said, it's strategic. And we realize that sometimes you have to even go after those long lead opportunities that may not produce returns right away. So what we have started doing is looking at going after multi-year stream business, where some of our thrust would speak to something that may turn around, give us a return within the next 3, 6. But we are also looking at things that will give us return maybe 16, 18 months down the road. And I think we see it as the better approach to take, because while you are building short-term returns, you are also looking at a sustainable way of generating continuous returns for the property and the investments and the shareholders, as well as ensuring that we look at how we sustain employment for those persons, which is our valuable team members, because of the efforts that they continue to put out. If I look at the TAUP program allows us to be able to, if I look at the finite resources that we have, spread our resources. So while we focus on infrastructure, we can also focus on marketing and training and looking at ways of getting the name out there in unique, but for us, we hope very plausible and effective ways.
And lastly, looking at the time that we have about a minute and a half. Are there any things that we can be looking forward to for the end of the year, Mr. Thom, in terms of specials, yes, things that you have?
Actually, Dike, we are in the process. We have launched our seasonal rates. We have only today posted some of the specials that are going to be happening during the period. But by tomorrow, we will be looking at, and this is mainly to attract residents who may not want to go and line up in the airport to go to Tobago, or may not have the wherewithal or time to travel outside of Trinidad and Tobago, to entice them to come to South Trinidad, Claxton Bay, Cara Hotels, where they can enjoy a Christmas season with a difference, where the focus is on rejuvenation. So when they get back into January, when we say it's a guava season, that's what we call January. Do you know the term guava season?
Yeah, man.
The whole term, eh? Right. So you will be fully prepared to face 2024, having spent some time at Cara, rejuvenated, and you've regeared the mind to chart 2024 with purpose. So this is the space to come. Our doors are open. We're ready to be of service. And we do hope that at some point, you, just like yourself, who have to be there day in, day out, that you can find some time to come and spend and experience what we have to offer.
And sometimes it's not just a matter of saying, okay, well, I don't want to go out, you know. It's just, it might be I don't want people to come by me. So you go and have that time away. Because some people just kill out themselves for the season, and then somebody come, they clean after them, somebody come and clean, and then they say, well, what are we really doing? But we want to thank you so much, Mr. Thom, Hassel Thom, the General Manager of Cara Hotels, and wishing you all the best for the season and beyond. On behalf of the TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.